how are we on the taping and all of that?
Well, legally I'm allowed to tape you.
Really, no, I know, but on our policy.
I mean, as far as being able for you to be videotaped or the videotape on stuff like this, you know, you can talk, and as long, I mean, if you don't want your picture shown.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with that.
And I realize that, and we've talked about this, and if you're going into an area where you feel I'm very uncomfortable, let's just say I'm uncomfortable, and you're going to have to accept that as an answer. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and I want to make that clear that if at any time you want to say I'd rather not respond to that question, or I'm not comfortable going there, or that's a national policy question, just say so. Say so.
Or just silence. You know, silence is always good.
Yeah. Just be comfortable, and we'll help.
I'm not going to bite you.
No,
I'm really not bad. I'm not going to point it at you.
No,
I understand you've got a thing about the video camera.
Well, I just interviews in general.
She just doesn't. She hates them.
Okay. All right. Well.
Anytime, anywhere, any place. It doesn't matter what.
So just record it so that you can have her words. But
I mean, do you see where it's pointed?
Yes.
Okay. You good with that? Okay. So you were saying maybe you want to tell her.
So maybe just a quick sort of your sense of where we are in the gather overall. Just a few opening observations you might share about how things are going, and then Denise can ask a few questions, and then we'll let you get back to your work.
We are going as planned. We have 3 HMAs here, and we're starting to gather. We're starting in the second one right now, and hoping to wrap it up by the end of the month. So we haven't really had any issues.
So hoping to wrap up, you mean the whole complex?
Yeah, the whole complex.
But you don't know how long you're going to be in this HMA?
You never really know for sure.
But roughly?
No, I'm not even going to commit.
Okay.
You never really know, because you can think it's going to go quick and it doesn't, or you can think, oh, it's going to take forever and it doesn't. So I never commit, because then people expect it.
All right. And then, so could you just tell me about like any horses that had come in with injuries, or the one that had to be killed that was blind? Was he blind in both eyes or one eye?
Anything that fits under the euthanasia policy on the instruction memoranda, we try to follow that. So that horse was impaired and also was dangerous because he couldn't see very well. So
was he blind in both eyes?
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
And you saw him though, yeah. Mm-hmm. And what condition was he in? What body score?
I'm gonna have to refer to notes on that. I'm not gonna off the cuff say that.
Okay. And did you guys take pictures of him before you killed him? Mm-hmm. Okay. So can I see those pictures, or do you?
I do not know yet. I'll find out who has them, and we'll see. Okay. We'll see what we're gonna do with them.
Okay. So I mean, if you're not going to show them to me, then I just have to FOIA them. So I'm asking you to preserve them, please.
Yeah. I mean, I said I think somebody took pictures, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know who has them right now and where they're at. So I will have to find out.
Okay. And just so you know, so at Triple B, they had a horse that came in with something was wrong with her hoof. So before they killed her, they took pictures of her hoof and pictures of her, and then they killed her, right? And then they showed us the pictures, and then at least we could see, what it was. And also, I'd be interested to see what his body score was. And then, was that the only injury or death?
Yes.
So
and we've had no gather-related deaths. That was just a euthanasia.
Right. But no.
Or injuries, Shaney. Have we had any injuries? No. That would be more of a thing for the vet. So.
Yeah. And who is the APHIS vet?
Right now, it's this lady right here.
No.
You? Oh, I thought you told me she was the director of the field office.
No. Oh, no. That was another woman with a bright colored shirt.
Now, who are you?
Kim Kessick.
Kim Kessick. Oh, he told me the APHIS vet was Jan. So when you came up, I just assumed you were the field office. You're the director of the field office, because I said, "Who's the lady in the orange?" Okay, so you're the APHIS vet.
Carolyn had kind of a pinkish or bright shirt on too.
All right, and
with
so
the cap, a green cap. See, that's blue. You said green.
Did I? I don't remember. I
Yes,
just remember the pink shirt or orange shirt. Oh, you're pulling my leg now. See, I'm like, whatever, I'll buy it. So So the question. So you guys are removing something like 240 something, and then you're rounding up 640 something or whatever. I can't remember the exact numbers, and then supposedly putting out the 400, right, to meet at low AML. So now, what if you don't get the 6 something? What if you come in at 550? What do you do?
I mean, you can't manufacture horses,
So what do you put back?
we have to put back the low AML.
So you're going to put back
Oh,
the
yeah.
low AML no matter what.
No matter what.
Okay.
Low AML has to stay here.
So you're not going to do. Oh, we assume
No.
low AML's out there.
No.
Okay, so whatever you round up that's in excess of the 2 whatever that you plan to remove, you're going to, whatever number you get, you're going to always return to low AML.
Yeah. Low AML is what will be here.
Okay. I mean, you'll actually return low AML number.
No, because we don't round up 100% of the horses.
Oh, I thought they were rounding up 100%.
Well, we're going to try.
You're going to try, but you don't succeed. I mean, you don't succeed. So, like, you've seen several escape the trap already. Yeah, we're not going to end up rounding up.
So you
those
are
horses.
going to assume that so many
No,
are on...
actually, we fly and get a count on what's out here before we haul back everything.
So
or
you'll
release everything.
Okay, so you'll fly and count, and you'll go, okay, so we have
This many head.
100 or whatever.
Yeah.
And
So
how do you make sure you don't, like, because can you fly all 3 HMAs in one day?
Well, yeah, no, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to do an HMA and then go.
Oh, so you are going to do it HMA by HMA?
Yeah. I mean, we're not working everywhere all at once. We're in
Right.
one area at a time.
I know.
Yeah, one area at a time.
Okay.
But we're treating this as a complex.
Right, we treat it as a complex because there are no solid barriers between any of the HMAs, and horses move freely back and forth. So before we move out of a country, we find out exactly how many head are left, and then we make sure we release
The AML for that HMA.
the AML for that HMA.
So you're saying, so before you leave, what is this, Sand Springs?
Sand Springs.
So before you leave Sand Springs, you do flyover. Well, why would you do a flyover and then count horses and not go and remove them? Wouldn't you try to remove them if you counted them? Since you're trying to get 100%?
Those horses that just got away.
You're not going to bother with them.
No,
Yeah.
I mean we're gonna work. I mean, the helicopter pilot tried,
Yeah.
and he's like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna go after him again and harass him.
So then at the end, when you're done with done with Sand Spring, you'll go do an aerial run it through and count them, and then go, okay, I counted 30 horses, and our low AML is, I don't know what it is, 90 or something.
90.
And
here,
so you say,
here it's 100.
okay, 100,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
100 here.
And then you'll say, then I'll release 70 horses in this HMA. But you won't do that until the whole complex is over, or you'll do that right away?
Part of it will be done as we move out of this HMA,
Part of it will be?
and then part of it will be after the gather's over, because there's a lot of horses, a lot of mare pairs in here that have some young foals. So we'll take those to burns, let them get weanable age, wean the mares, and then the mares can come back.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some good mares that have foals on them, so I don't want to ship really good mares. You know, they might as well come back to the HMA, be part of the herd still.
What makes a good mare?
I mean, we're looking for mind, body, everything that people want in a horse.
The ones who escape are the good ones.
Well, maybe so.
All right, but what do you mean by mind? I mean, just out of curiosity.
Like these horses here are what we call kind of crashy.
What does that mean? I'm not a horse person.
They're really hard to handle, and with no pressure on them, they'll try to.
Oh, they're fidgety.
Well, not fidgety is an understatement. They'll bang into the panels, and they're just
Really wild.
Sometimes it's a result of inbreeding. Sometimes it's a result of if you don't have good feed somewhere, horses will turn to stuff that's not healthy for them, like local weed, lupin, stuff like that, and it affects their mind, makes them makes you look basically a little crazy. You can't, your mind doesn't process correctly. I don't know what the situation is here, but we have had historical problems with that over here. So just really crashy horses.
In all the complex, or just this one?
No, just this HMA.
So even though there are no fencing for the boundaries, it hasn't really helped with...
It's helped. They're better than they used to be. But
did you guys take down fencing between?
No. I mean, when we go gather, removing the horses that seem to be extremely that way, just to get a little calmer herd so they're not quite so,
Crashy.
yeah.
All right. And I guess that's it.
Just a couple more.
I can't think
you're
of
there.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty
Oh,
much
you were going to
it.
ask about the hot shot. Why don't you do that?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
gave her a heads up. You were going to ask about how we use the hot
See,
shots.
I forget all my questions. That's why I like to have someone next to me. But anyway, or at least we'll have a dialogue so when I see you at the end of the day. But yeah, do you allow them to use hot shots here?
Hot shot is a tool, and it can be used in the right instances. We have not had any reason to have to use it out at the trap yet, so I don't want to. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing myself, but no, we haven't had any.
But you would
reason
know.
to. Yeah, I would know.
You would know.
I've been at the trap the entire time.
And I mean hot shot meaning cattle prod or hotch, handheld. Okay.
And Shaney, describe like you did for me the kind of situation where we might use it.
If a horse, this is domestic, wild, whatever, if a horse goes down and they get their legs under a panel or something, and what they've got to do is get both of those feet underneath so they can push off and get up. I mean, this happens in your corrals all the time in domestic horses. A lot of times a horse will just give up, kind of stall up and give up. And if you do that, unless you have a way to really pull them out of there, which you don't generally, I mean, you can kill them pretty easy, or they can get themselves really hurt. So sometimes a hot shot will be used to give that horse just a little bit of a start, so they'll get their feet underneath them and get up, so that we don't have to get anything hurt or have anything killed. Our goal is not to have that happen.
But you couldn't see using a handheld on foals, could you?
I haven't personally. I don't know if anybody else has run into it, but I haven't had a reason to myself.
Yeah. So you're saying you leave the door open for potentially in an emergency situation. Would you say an emergency, or would you say no, it's broader than an emergency?
You mean to use a hot
Yeah.
shot? It's you're using it in the best interest of the horse, because you know if you let them stay there that the potential for them to get hurt or die is great, and you want to get them out of that situation.
What if it's just to facilitate getting them on the trailer because you aren't very skilled? Would you allow that here?
We haven't had that happen, so
Knock on wood.
exactly.
I actually asked the question because of the conversation you and I had.
Yeah.
Denise and Shaney said, "Oh, not here. We don't need to worry about getting them on the trailer. There's no worry about moving them."
Okay. And then how about slamming the metal panel door from the trailer on the horses to get them in? Would you allow that here?
Slamming
The panel door, the panel door on the trailer?
the rear door.
Yes, ma'am.
Why you do that is to keep the horse from turning around.
No, would
I
you
guess I'm not sure.
use it
You're
repeatedly
talking about
to
slamming it as
slamming
a weapon,
and
but
correct.
And I don't think that's Shaney's saying. I believe she's saying
We
is
use
that
it as a squeeze.
Use it as a squeeze, more as a
Just
squeeze,
to
and
prevent
less
that
as
turnaround.
what you're
Right.
saying is as a weapon.
But would you allow them to use it to repeatedly slam on a horse?
Yeah, we haven't had anyone try that. I've never
Right, but
seen
would
that.
would you allow it?
I don't think I would probably feel comfortable with that, but
How about 3 guys leaning on a horse?
I can't speak to all situations. So
Yeah.
we haven't had it happen here.
Okay.
And we haven't,
So just so you know, I can't see anything. I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm not. You don't need to give me all the. We're doing it for the best.
So anyway,
safety
Denise,
and
I've passed on some
Yeah.
of your comments and
But I
suggestions,
can't see
so-
anything. So you're. I have to ask you for what you're seeing, and so I appreciate you telling me
No,
because I
we-
can't see.
Yeah.
our goal is
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, our goal is to, with the least amount of stress, gather the horses, and that includes the use of the hot shot if we see him in a bad situation that we want to get him out of. But
Yeah, but that sounds like an emergency situation.
yeah,
To me,
for the
it
most-
sounds
for the most
emergency.
part, yeah.
Yeah.
We've gathered, I don't know, over 100 head here.
And you haven't
already.
seen anything like
And
this.
we haven't had to do it once
That's
at
great.
the trap, so
Okay,
that's
that's it.
great.